Hey everybody, let's talk NAR settlement and let's talk realistically about the NAR settlement. I'm sure we've all seen these big overblown headlines about commissions going away, home prices being slashed, fees gone forever, and an upset that will upheave and change the real estate landscape for all of the future. Well, let's talk about the truth behind those headlines. First off, let's start with the 6% commission is gone. Days of the past. What past? Because that's never been the standard commission. It's always been negotiable, and it's never been a standard across the board. That would be considered price fixing, and it's completely illegal and always has been, which is why you have discount brokers offering to list at 1%. You have agents listing between 7 and 8%. You have other agents who will slash prices for friends and family, or if they come across a seller who's a great negotiator and explains why they shouldn't have to pay less, maybe they slash their commission for them too. As an agent, it's your job to provide your value up front. Why are you worth the amount of money you're charging? And it's up to you to set that amount of money. So this 6% standard is bullshit. I've got no other words for it. I don't know where the news media is getting their facts and figures. They obviously have never talked to an expert who has actually sold real estate. And either that or they're just lying to you. And they're trying to make things happen for clicks. I think that's probably what it is. So next, what's really in the settlement? Well, there's two major changes that will affect agents as we know it. And the first and biggest one, and the one you're seeing splashed all over, is that we are no longer going to be offering a co-op, which means we're not going to be offering to cover the buyer's agent's commission in the MLS. Not in any field in the MLS. Not in the description, not in the private remarks, not in the realtor remarks, not on showing time. Nowhere are we offering commission in the MLS. Now, there's a couple caveats to this. This is a NAR settlement. So if your MLS is not run by NAR, it doesn't apply to you. Now, does that mean your MLS is not going to follow suit? No, it probably will. However, this does not mean you can't offer a co-op. You can offer it in social media. You can offer it in print. You can offer it on your website. You can do 100 other things to be able to offer a co-op. Sellers can still offer co-ops. It's not getting rid of the co-op. It's getting rid of where we're advertising the co-op. What it's really doing is it's getting rid of transparency in how we get paid. And it's going to make it a lot harder for the everyday consumer. This is not a good move. So, get off my soapbox. Back on my soapbox. The other thing that needs to change is that buyer's agents, and this will only change in certain states, because in other states it's been happening for a while. But in a lot of states, they don't have a buyer's contract. That's going to change, and you will have to have a buyer's contract signed before you show even one house. The end. Across the board. Okay? This is a great thing. Oh, this should have happened forever ago. You should have a contract with the person that you're taking into a stranger's house. You should know them. You should know their legal name. You should have all their information. This is also a safety feature. This is a great thing. And yes, it will make your job slightly a smidgen harder. But you know what? It's going to be much better for everybody in the end. And agents should have been having these conversations with their buyers from the get-go. So how do we address these changes? One, we have to bring transparency around. The law is taking transparency out. We need to bring it back. So we need to have hard conversations quickly. In our listing appointments, we need to talk about what we get paid, how we get paid, how the buyer's agents get paid, how that will affect the sale of their property. Now again, we're staying within fair housing guidelines. We're not going to steer them towards offering or not offering a co-op. It is their choice. We are just going to educate them on the process and how co-ops work. Okay? We are only going to show houses to buyers that have contracted with us and have agreed to pay us if the seller's not paying us. This is a great thing. Buyers, you can tell your agent, hey, I can't afford to pay you. I only want to see houses that are offering a co-op. Can the agent only show you houses that are offering a co-op? No. If you want to see a house that's not offering a co-op, the agent will still show you that house. But you just know that you have to come out of pocket. So the agent is going to do their due diligence, and they're going to say, here you go. Here are the houses that fit your criteria. These are the costs associated with these houses. This seller's paying co-op. This seller's paying half a co-op. This seller's paying no co-op. Let's go see them. And then you as the buyer have the education to decide which one you want. If you want the house that's not offering a co-op and you want representation, you're going to have to pay your agent out of pocket. So that is a conversation we have to have immediately. We need to educate our sellers and our buyers. We need to have sit downs. We need to bring people into the office. We need to have a brick and mortar office that you bring people into like a professional, sit down and go over paperwork with them. So at the end of the day, this whole thing is hard conversations. You have to have hard conversations with your sellers and hard conversations with your buyers. You need to be educational and fully knowledgeable and transparent with all of your clients. None of that is a bad thing, and you should have been doing that all along. This is just prompting them quickly, and it's putting them in front. Before, these things were said in a contract that people signed without reading, like they do when they download an app to play the game on their phones. Now it has to be said out loud, and they have to hear it and agree to it. Will this change things for buyers? Yes, it will make housing less affordable for certain demographics of buyers. It absolutely will. While transparency and hard conversations are great and we need to implement them in real estate, this is going to affect a certain demographic of people: first-time home buyers, lower income home buyers, and VA buyers that cannot afford to pay for, in the case of first-time home buyers and lower income buyers, they are now going to have to save up for closing costs, down payment, and a buyer's agent. For VA, they are legally not allowed to pay a commission. Will that change? I really hope so, because this really hamstrings them. But they're already paying for their closing costs and the funding fee. And if you don't know about the funding fee, it can be astronomical depending on the house. And now they're going to pay for no, they're not. They can't pay for a buyer's agent. So they're going to be going through this process completely unrepresented. And that's a shame. And it's not something we should be doing to our veterans or service members. It's doing them a huge disservice. So, in closing, will this change our market? We'll find out in the next 6 months. I don't have a crystal ball. It either won't. Sellers will keep continuing to see the value of offering a co-op to get their house sold quickly. After all, they didn't have to pay a buyer's agent when they bought the house. Or they will try and save that little bit of money and pass it on to the buyer. And in that case, we may see things shift. Have a great evening. Go out, make your calls, talk to your sphere, set your appointments, and keep selling real estate.